What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update, as well as unemployment update. We're going to give you all the new details of it in this video, and I have more rental assistance programs that are out and or coming out that I'm going to be bringing you over the next few days. Remember, a lot of these rental assistance programs will pay your rent for several months, which a lot of states actually will go up to $5,000. We're seeing these programs return now after the new year. I will have another one for you guys in this video, as well as more coming up in future videos over the next few days. So make sure you're subscribed down below. If you're new to the channel, it's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new updates. Click the bell icon if you want to get notifications when we go live, which is typically 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And give this video a like for us down below. It really helps out our channel. All right, let's jump into it. New data is out according to investing behemoth Fidelity Investments that 38% of Americans say that they will be in survival mode in 2021. And the Biden administration is taking this in stride, and they already are announcing, well, they're drafting their next stimulus package right now. We're going to go over the details of that and what to expect going forward, along with checks and what else will be in the stimulus package here that we might be receiving pretty soon here within the next day or two. Also in this study, overall 29% of people said they were in worse financial shape entering 2021. That's up from 19% of the people who told the reoccurring poll that they were in a worse money situation entering 2020. So that is almost 50% more people saying that they're in a worse situation now after 2020 has ended. Senator Bernie Sanders, who is leading the charge on the $2,000 stimulus checks, says all over America, millions of people are worried that they will not be able to pay rent, put food on the table, and purchase their prescription drugs or go to a doctor when they get sick. We must respond to their pain with a bold economic agenda not seen in this country since FDR. New Joe Biden calls for setting aside the deficit concerns to invest trillions of dollars in the ailing U.S. economy with his new upcoming stimulus package. Bernie Sanders, who will likely be the incoming new Senate budget chair, that will be an interesting position for him to have because, as we know, he's very pro-stimulus, says the president-elect is exactly right that this is not the time for austerity politics. Here's what President-elect Joe Biden has to say about that.
In the midst of this pandemic, there are millions of people out of work, unable to pay their rent or their mortgage. They're waiting in line for hours to get food from a food bank. Think of this, the United States of America. People are lined up for miles in their automobiles, waiting to get a meal to put on the table to feed their family. And they're left staring at the ceiling, so many, unable to sleep, worried will they have their health insurance, wondering if they'll be okay. The bottom line is the job report shows we need to provide more immediate relief for working families and businesses now. Not just to help them get to the other side of this painful crisis, but a larger purpose, to avoid a broader economic cost that exists out there, that will happen due to long-term unemployment, hunger, homelessness, and business failings. But by acting, the vast majority of leading economists suggest that that's what we need to do to revive the economy.
And with that being said, we have new information that the Biden administration is now assembling their new multi-trillion-dollar stimulus plan with stimulus checks, unemployment aid, and more.
But as I said from the beginning, the need to make sure that relief and future relief reaches everyone who needs it, we need to do more. These relief dollars will start to flow quickly, potentially while the current administration is still in office. And they may send out money that they won't have any control over. But for what we have to need control over, I want to be very clear what my priorities are for distributing this emergency aid swiftly and equitably. Our focus will be on small businesses on Main Street that aren't wealthy and well-connected, that are facing real economic hardships through no fault of their own. Our priority will be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally, having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild. But we're going to make a concerted effort to help small businesses in low-income communities, in big cities, small towns, rural communities that have faced systemic barriers to relief. Think of the mom and pop owner with a couple of employees who can't pick up the phone and call the banker, who doesn't have a lawyer, an accountant, to help them through this complicated process, to know if they're even qualified, or who simply didn't know where this relief was available in the first place. We went through this, Don, when we brought Detroit back off its knees. And as we saw in this morning's job report, restaurants, bars, and hospitality industry have been slammed by this virus. We're going to direct relief to those businesses and others that have been so badly hit the hardest. We owe them that support to help them get through the other side of this crisis.
Joe Biden says about this next stimulus package, we'll call it the third stimulus package, even though there was some other ones in there, this will be the third one with a stimulus check unless they pass the $2,000 beforehand. He says the price tag will be high. The overwhelming consensus among leading economists, left, right, and center, is that in order to keep the economy from collapsing this year, getting much, much worse, we should be investing significant amounts of money right now. Now, what do we expect in this third stimulus package from the Biden administration? So, first things first is the $2,000 checks will either come before this next stimulus package or in this next stimulus package, depending on honestly just what happens. I personally think it would be smart of Mitch McConnell to pass the $2,000 stimulus checks now because A, they would get that out of the way, and B, he has several different concessions in his own $2,000 bill, not the $2,000 bill he blocked from the US House of Representatives that passed. Okay, that's $2,000 stimulus checks for adults, children, and adult dependents and college students. Okay, that's basically $2,000 for everybody that makes below the income threshold of $75,000 to $99,000. Okay, that bill passed the House, and Mitch McConnell blocked it, and then the next day introduced his own $2,000 stimulus check package. I have a link to it down below in the description of this video. You can watch next. But basically, Mitch McConnell's bill, we actually read through the actual bill in that video. It's pretty interesting. Mitch McConnell's $2,000 bill is $2,000 checks only for adults. Adult dependents and college students do not get the check, and children do not get the check, even though the children got the $600 check. Plus, it's a plus up check where basically it's a $1,400 check plus your $600 that you likely have already gotten or are getting. By the way, let me know down below if you have gotten your $600 stimulus check, especially if you've gotten it within the last few days. I am getting more and more reports every day that more groups of people are getting their $600 stimulus check, which is the second stimulus check. This $2,000 is the third stimulus check, and it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a plus up stimulus check, which is basically $1,400 plus the $600 you already got or are getting to make it $2,000 total. If the check gets delayed or they put it in the next package and that doesn't pass here within the next few days, it could become a $2,000 standalone stimulus check so that you would have the $600 second stimulus check and $2,000, a full $2,000. And the real question is will it also include $2,000 for children and $2,000 for dependents, college students, and adult dependents? Adult dependents, if you don't know, are basically just people that are claimed as a dependent on a tax return. So a lot of people might claim their elderly parents on their tax return as a tax write-off. And normally in the past, that was a good tax strategy because it would save that person tax dollars. But in this case, it hurt the person who was the dependent because they didn't end up getting the first or the second stimulus check. And we'll have to see if that changes for the third stimulus check, which will be either $2,000 or a $2,000 plus up, which is basically a $1,400. So $1,400 or $2,000 is what we are expecting for the third stimulus check, which is almost a certainty. Honestly, it passed the House of Representatives and would have passed the Senate if it weren't for Mitch McConnell delaying the bill. And Mitch McConnell will no longer be the Senate Majority Leader here within the next few days. So if Mitch McConnell doesn't pass his own bill before then he's going to have to pass a larger bill because he won't be the Senate Majority Leader anymore. And we already know there's enough support in the Senate to pass the bill. The bill passed in the House with a 2/3 supermajority, so it'll pass the Senate, and we already have Republican senators saying that they will pass it. And the Republican senators lost 3 seats in the Senate, so now they need 3 votes less from Republicans. They only need 10 votes from Republicans in the Senate. And going forward, they might even need less if they get rid of the filibuster rule, which will only require 51 votes in the Senate. I don't expect the Democrats to do that for this next stimulus check, or probably not even for the next stimulus package. But for subsequent packages and checks after that fact, the Biden administration has promised multiple times checks and packages until the pandemic is over. And with record cases and record deaths happening literally just yesterday, both of them, 300,000 new positive cases and 4,000 deaths per day now. Dr. Fauci says it won't be till the end of 2021, which is unfortunate, but it's good for stimulus. So it's kind of like, if it's bad, then we get more stimulus, which is kind of good, but we'd rather just be out of the pandemic, right? But at least Mitch McConnell's out of the way, and it's not that I am a Republican or a Democrat, but we all know, if you've been watching this channel, Mitch McConnell has kind of tabled and delayed multiple stimulus packages and checks, and now that he's not going to be the Senate Majority Leader, it's gonna kind of open the floodgates for stimulus checks. What else are we expecting in this stimulus package, the third stimulus package? We're already starting to hear, dare I say, rumors or from sources that the Biden administration is going to be possibly pushing for larger unemployment checks. So instead of $300, which is going on right now, and the $300 that we got from President Trump's executive order, that they want to go back to that first unemployment bonus that we got back in March of $600 per week. Now, they may have to negotiate a little bit there, but I expect them to push for possibly up to as high as $600 per week. The other thing we're expecting is well, lots of things, but the next thing we're expecting is student loan forgiveness. So we've heard multiple things about student loan forgiveness. We know that Joe Biden himself personally, he is willing to go up to $10,000 at least of student loan forgiveness. He's said it in the past, and it's also in his economic plan on joebiden.com. The question is, will Biden try to pass it through a presidential executive order, which multiple Democrats and law professors think that he will be able to pass a student loan forgiveness through a presidential executive order, because you're technically not printing any money, you're just forgiving debt that's already on the government books. Now, we don't know the details of which student loan lenders this might affect, or all of them, or anything like that. I will be keeping you updated with that as this happens. But Joe Biden is and has said himself that he is personally okay with up to $10,000 per person in student loan debt. And he also wants to freeze the student loan payments again, which has been done here over the past several months. He wants to continue that along with the eviction moratorium and multiple different things in this package. Make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. This bottom video is about how unemployment might be $400 per week for some people. Click on that and watch that if you haven't yet. This top video is my newest stimulus check video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.